It was good. Thank you for tuning in, Profe Gallo. I'm here in Santo Domingo Norte. It's about 6:30 right now in the evening. The sun has gone down. It is very not cold, a little cool, not too hot. It's lovely. So, the topic of this video is basically I'm going to talk about dating and building relationships in the Dominican Republic. Now, uh, it the Dominican Republic, for those who are not familiar with this country, or familiar with much of the Caribbean and Latin America, or basically outside of the United States, it's fairly it's fairly easy to talk to people and approach people. It's not that they don't have that same culture here for the most part. They don't have that same culture here in the U.S. For example, where people tend to be really cold, standoffish. You walk on the street, they don't really say hello. They don't look you in the eye so much. People are just off in their own little world in the United States. As here, you have that, but to a lesser extent, people are approaching people who are about foreigners. They curious about people who are different than them. So yes, there always comes with some, stereotypes and all that. But generally, people are welcoming and warm-hearted and are very interested in foreigners. So, in the from the point of view of the foreigners coming here, it may seem a little strange of how welcoming and approachable people are, because honestly, coming from the U.S., it's a big difference. So let's talk about dating first. So dating in the Dominican Republic. Do you need to know Spanish? Well, Spanish is the official language. You'll find a lot of folks have some working knowledge of English, but for the most part, people don't know English. So if you do not speak Spanish and you only speak English, you know, your sort of dating pool is centered around people who live in tourist areas, or is centered around people who with education who go to and learn English. So that makes your dating pool really small. However, there are many cases here where there are foreigners who don't speak Spanish, yet they date people who do not speak their language. So the way they communicate through apps and sign language, or body language, and somehow they get their points across. I never experienced that, and that can seem quite difficult and a headache. With communication being a big part of dating and relationships, I don't know how genuine or how far that can go, but a lot of people get into it. Now, as far as dating, where do you go? For example, where do you go to meet people? Well, if you are a man looking for a woman, or a woman looking for a man, anywhere. I'm talking about everything from the grocery stores, from the gym, to just walking down the street, to anywhere. You don't need to go to a bar. You don't need to go to a discotheque. You don't need to go to out at night to look, or find a date rather. You just start a conversation, and if the person is interested, you'll know at some point. If they're not, you'll know too. If a woman is not interested in a man, she'll simply let them know, or she will walk away, or she will say no thank you, or something of that sort. So you will know all these things as far as dating in the Dominican Republic. Uh, uh, so basically, where would you go? Pretty much anywhere. If you see a nice lady that you will want to, you think you want to have a conversation with, ask her what's her name. Introduce yourself. Start off a conversation, and that's usually all that's needed in the Dominican Republic. Now, if you are in the more tourist areas, the type of women, not all women, but you will have your chapeadoras that tend to be in high concentration in the tourist areas, where sometimes they will actually go out to look for. That's where they would go to actually look for foreigners or people with money. So if you are looking to date and you are in those areas, you definitely want to be very careful of the type of people you're talking to. You looking to date. Just read the signs. If she's genuine, if she's talking about money. In your first conversation, she's already talking about money. If she's very open. I mean, you can tell. I mean, a lot of you folks who are from the U.S. or from the whatever country you're from, you come to the Dominican Republic. You're not born yesterday. You can read. You can read people. You have common sense. So you have common sense. You should be able to pick up on some of these things where you may feel that someone is trying to take advantage of you. So you can essentially go anywhere to look for a date. But I'm telling you, it'll come. Just you go about your day. You make small talk conversation with people. It'll come. I mean, there's if you come. I mean, I don't recommend coming to the Dominican Republic looking to specifically for a relationship like that. But I mean, anywhere you go, even when you're in the States, I mean, that opportunity will come. They always say you don't go looking for love because love will find you. So, don't make a point to look for love. All right, so let's go into what else. So we looked at where you can go as far as dating, dating apps or dating sites. Look, man, you can use it, but I don't recommend it. But they can be useful. So in the U.S., if you're using dating apps in the U.S., for example, you can find people and build genuine relationships. I mean, that's definitely possible, and that is also possible here in the Dominican Republic. However, there's also that other side where people use those apps to look for to look for victims. Whatever kind of scheme they got going on. I mean, you don't hear about it so much in the Dominican Republic, as what happens in Colombia, for example, where the whole scopamine, where you find someone on the dating app and you can go out to meet with them, and they put something in your drink, and next thing you know, they hit you with the scopamine, whether they call it the devil's breath or they put something in your drink, and then it's that drug that puts you in some sort of like zombie type state where they can basically just take advantage of you and take it to the ATM, and you take it to your hotel room or apartment that's your Airbnb or whatever, and take all your stuff. So it's not like that here in the Dominican Republic that you will see in Colombia, at least not to that extent. But just keep in mind that people use those avenues to take advantage of people. So you want to be quite aware of that. So dating apps, you can use them, but I don't recommend them because like I said, you can meet people anywhere on the street. What else? what else about dating? Dating expectations. So in the Dominican Republic, expectations. This is a different society than the U.S., where it's very, what do they call it, patriarchal society, where the man is the more dominant person in a relationship, and the woman really follows the man. Is that the case in all cases? No, but that is that is the popular. How should I say? It's common here. In addition to that, you in the relationship. I mean, it's again. This is not 100%. This is not absolute, but it is common knowledge or commonplace that, look, Dominican men are not faithful, and if the men and saying is, if Dominican men aren't faithful, Dominican women aren't faithful either, right? Again, it's not 100%. Of course, you have your exceptions, but that is sort of a common saying here. So with that said, you have to. So when you have a common, I guess a common in the culture where each man or the woman is not necessarily faithful, what that brings is doubt and jealousy. So you may find that women in the Dominican Republic may be more jealous or more wary of cheating and things of that than possibly other cultures, or from wherever you come from, the U.S. or wherever you come from. You may find that here. So that is a very important part. So because if a Dominican woman, and she's going to date and she's going to be interested in you, she's going to show you, you're going to know it, and she's going to be into you, and she's only going to want you for her, So if you are looking to date in the Dominican Republic, you got to keep in mind that, Dominican women are not any different from other women, where, they may, devote themselves to you and dedicate themselves to you, but they are going to be passionate and very passionate about you. And if they sense, wrongdoing, or sense, some other girl is taking their place, they're really going to get really possessive, and they'll show it. So again, that is not specifically a trait of Dominican women. I mean, that could be all women, but that is very common here. So just be sure that when you look into dating in the Dominican Republic, that you're taking into account that, take into account the expectations of the woman when you get into dating, as you should anywhere else. So, and I'm not talking about, when I say dating, I'm not talking about, a one night stands or nothing like that, because that's not really dating. I mean, that's just, being with someone else, for a short period of time, right? When I say dating, I mean where each man and woman are taking one foot forward and building a relationship with one another, and they're sharing and serious or somewhat serious about one another. So that is what I consider dating, where I see other people talking on YouTube when they say dating, but they're actually talking about one night stands or whatever, where that's not really dating, because no one is really putting any effort in building anything. So you have where you need to go to if you want to date, where you need to go, which is anywhere, right? You have where you should and should not go. I don't recommend the dating apps, but if that's your thing, do it. But just be aware. Also, have the expectations. Know the expectations of the women you're dealing with. Know the culture. Know the language. And not only know the language that's used here, rather than just the language itself. And just be a good person, right? Just be a good person, have good intentions, and I'm sure you will find what you're looking for in terms of dating. Now, let's look at relationships. So, in a relationship, it takes two, not just one person. But before I go into relationships with the opposite sex, let me go to relationships where it's like just friends or like just neighbors or associates or whatever, right? Look, as a foreigner, you'll find that a lot of people want to be your friend. A lot of people want to be in your circle. Because as a foreigner, well, look, people are curious about foreigners. They want to, hey, you're the foreigner, you're different, they're curious about foreigners, right? But at the same time, a lot of people want to take advantage of foreigners because they may think, hey, you're a foreigner, you're here, you must have money, right? I mean, obviously you had enough money to buy a ticket to get here, so you must have some money because you're here. There's a lot of folks that want to take advantage of you because of your money. You want to buy something, a product or a service. Everyone, hey, they're trying to, get you. Hey, I know someone, and they refer you to someone, and they charge you a whole bunch of money, and the person that refers you get a piece of that, So it's just like when you're here, yes, you'll find that people here are nice, they're welcoming, approachable, good for the most part. There's really good people here, but a lot of people are trying to take advantage of them. A lot of people are trying to get their hands in your pockets. A lot of people look at you as a come up or not a come up, just a extra dollar and or peso, and you just got to be aware of that, man. Me personally, being here, I don't really have, I don't really associate with too many people outside of, my wife, her family, and, some people that we become close to. Because here, I mean, you'll find that even foreigners themselves who are here, who are expatriates or whatever, who actually live here, be wary of them too, because some of them will take advantage try to take advantage of you just like anyone else, any other Dominican living here. So you have to be aware of everyone. So building relationships in that sense, you can definitely do it. You can definitely build good relationships with Dominicans, foreigners, etc. But just keep in mind that there's going to be a lot of people out there, that wants to be your friend because they're trying to get something from you, So, like money, for example. So just keep that in mind. Now, going back to relationships with people that you're dating. Relationships here are it's work. Any relationship is work. But being here and being a foreigner, people are extra. Some people can be extra wary of you and your intentions. So simply, wanting to leave the United States and wanting to move to a beautiful country like the Dominican Republic, or because you visited here and you fell in love with the country, those aren't really. People are still going to look at you, like side-eyed. Why is this foreigner here? What are they trying? Really, what they're really doing here, and so you'll find that a lot. And also, whenever you are with, hey, and this is for both cases. If you're a man that's a foreign man that's with a Dominican woman, whenever you're out in public, people are going to think that the woman is champeando. I mean, yeah, that's what they're going to think. They're gonna think that she's got a sugar daddy and she's going along for the ride. So they don't look at that as anything serious, especially when you see a foreigner who was older and a Dominican who was younger. I mean, that's just what they look at, and that's what they see, and you will often get that treatment, and it can feel, in some cases, it can feel a bit discriminatory, because they will not. You may be a couple, but they may not treat you like a couple. They may treat you as, oh yeah, she's just Chapiano, so this is nothing serious. All the attention on him, but treat her like crap, So you'll get that often. So just be mindful of that, and be mindful of how that, constantly going through that can affect a relationship. So one thing I can say is most women, not just here in the Dominican Republic, but most women in general in the world want to get married. They want to get married. They want to have kids. You'll see that. Maybe if you're dealing with older women, you may not necessarily get the whole kids thing, but for the most part, older women as well who are not married want to get married. So, because you'll find that the Dominican Republic is very traditional, and in the traditional conservative sense where, the idea is, you need a relationship, you get married, you have a whole wedding ceremony with the church, and you have kids, and you get your own place, and you work, and all that stuff, and the kids grow up, blah 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 blah, right? Very traditional in that sense. So you got to keep all that in mind when you're dealing with Dominican families and Dominican culture. You have to be able to learn that, and that's really important when coming here, man. Like, even before coming here, it's important to learn as much as you can about the country and culture as possible. When you get here, don't rush into things. Spend some time learning the language and learning the culture, because that can help you along the way. Especially if you don't know Spanish that well, or if you don't know Spanish at all, communication will, even if you know Spanish very well, there's always going to be a difference in communication. Their Spanish is different. The way they use the vocabulary, some of the vocabulary and the form, the way it may not be the same way as you use it with your Spanish, and it could be complex. Or she speaks some English, and you don't speak Spanish, and you only speak English, and think about the communication with the English, and they may understand things differently, blah 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 blah. Their language can be very formal, but also very informal. So you'll have to know how to navigate the informal and the formal conversations, and walking that line with where you're being and too informal and insensitive, or all this stuff. You'll find that you gotta really take the time to learn the culture. So don't come here rushing into relationships and rushing into dating, because once you know the language and once you know the culture, it'll give you the tools to be more successful in the relationships that you build here. So trying to start dating and go into serious relationships without having these tools in your box or tools in your bag is going to make it very difficult for you to be successful at dating and building successful relationships with not only man, one of the opposite sex, but also with just friends and associates in general. It's going to make it challenging. So just keep all that in mind. Me personally, I'm married. I'm married to a Dominican. I've had my experience in my relationship with my wife, and learned quite a few things along the way. Also knowing other foreigners and other Dominicans and their sort of relationship dynamic and things of that nature. You've been here for a while. You've been around these people for a while. You learn, and I really want to be able to share that with some folks out there who have no idea, who are looking to jump into relationships with who are moving here or looking to move here, or who are moved here already, who are looking to date or looking to build relationships. Take your time, because learning the language and learning the culture is very important. And if you don't know those things while jumping into these relationships, it'll make things really difficult. All right, it'll make things difficult. One thing I definitely want to talk about is long distance relationships. I know a lot of people who are here part time, or maybe only come here a few times a year, and they have relationships with women who come here, have relationships with men who come here who have relationships with women, and they have these relationships, but they only see each other a couple of times or a few times a year. I mean, people do it, but just know that the obstacles that brings in a relationship and it can be quite difficult, and a lot goes on, when you're not together and when you're not talking. So I know sometimes even if you're talking to your significant other every day, you don't know what's going on here. They don't know what's going on there, and that puts pressure on the relationship. So I don't recommend that. I've heard a lot of stories. Hey, just go through these YouTube channels and search, and you'll see. So I'm not really one to talk a lot about what goes on. A lot of places here in the Dominican Republic, as far as pay for play and the partying and the side where you have a lot of tourists that come in for a weekend or for a few days and leave. I'm not. I'm in Santo Domingo. I'm in a regular Dominican neighborhood. I'm not around that. There are many channels that you can go to get that side of it. But what I can give you, what I experienced being here, been living in Santo Domingo for a while now, is that you can build successful relationships here. So far, I built a very successful relationship. Still growing, not perfect, but still growing. But what I can tell you from what I learned is definitely work on learning the language and work on learning the culture. So if you don't know the language, you know the culture. Spend some time working on that before you start building serious relationships. And with that said, I don't want to keep repeating myself. That's basically it, what I wanted to talk about. Talk about if you want to get into dating, where to go, how to do it, how to go about doing it, which is pretty simple. Talk. Open your mouth, talk. Everyone's not going to be interested, but someone will. There's a saying in the U.S., you're going to miss 100% of the shots you don't take, so just shoot. So be like Allen Iverson, be like LeBron, and just shoot, and eventually want to go in, right? There you have it. So hey, thank you for tuning into my channel. I hope some of you got something out of this video about dating and building relationships in the Dominican Republic. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll be doing more videos on Dominican culture. I'll be doing more of some of the same videos I've been doing. We're just showing you different places on the island, and I'm going to be doing more conversations with others, not just foreigners, but Dominicans as well, to give you that perspective. Yeah, some of them are going to be in English, some of them are going to be in Spanish. I'm not going to be translating much because my whole idea of this channel was to have a bilingual channel that is not just for foreigners, but also for Dominicans and Spanish-speaking people as well, so that both sides can get something out of my content. So again, thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, leave comments, and I will be seeing you all soon. Peace.